Hi, Abdul. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. How you doing? Oh, I think you've gone, your computer's frozen, Abdul. That's better.
Just move to. Okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah, let me just play a little bit to see whether it works. If it doesn't, then.
Yeah, good idea.
The host disable participant screen sharing. So can you enable me screen sharing?
Oh,
so
yeah, absolutely. Okay, that should be good to go then.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It looks like it's here.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's great.
Can you? Oh, yeah. Brilliant. Exactly.
Yeah, so you just want to try try playing it and see.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah.
There's no sound coming from it at the minute.
Oh, no sound coming. Okay.
No.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me see. No sound is coming. So which one is responsible for the sound? Jason, can you help me here? The sound is not coming. Well, I don't know where the sound will come from. Yeah, no, I recorded this video for yeah, Zoom. Yeah, Zoom presentation. Yeah, sharing Zoom.
Oh, hi, Jason.
Sam. This is Zoom. Oh, okay, is that? Oh.
My name is Abdullah Sane. I'm the chairperson of the United Voice.
Is it working?
Association.
Yeah, could do with being a touch louder, but yeah, it's.
Oh, okay, it's working. That's fine.
It is working.
The volume. Look for the volume now. Thank you, Jason. My technology man.
Brilliant.
Let me see what I can put up the volume. Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, at least we can hear it. That's the main thing.
Yeah, at least a year.
Party Hate Crime Reporting Center at Western Community Trust on Derby Road. Today, my presentation is racism towards black people, or if you like.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit difficult to hear because of the
The
background
music.
music. Yes, I
Yeah,
think it
I
might.
don't know. I
it
don't
might-
know why.
Yeah, I think there's a on the media player. I can see there's a bar just beneath the kind of where it's playing. There's a small green yeah, small arrow
This-
there. I think that's
This
just,
one.
yeah, I think that just needs to go up. Yeah, just
Oh,
yeah. So try it now. Yeah.
Hate crime simply means any violence, incident, or crime that is racially motivated, and that includes a public insult and defamation.
Yeah, that's okay.
it's better. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's a bit difficult to hear, but I think we can
yeah.
I think
If I can remove the music, I would. But
no,
this
don't
lady
worry.
just. I don't know why she put the music there. Anyway.
I mean, people can ask questions, and also that I'll just tell people to listen carefully when it starts.
Yeah,
So
yeah, because
that's-
there is part of the video where we interviewed children at football pitch, so that's even more noisier. So whether
Yeah.
they'll be able to hear that, I don't know. Let me
My
put.
name is Abdullah Sane.
Expose. How do you think we can expose them?
Yeah,
You see, you can hardly hear anything.
no, I've got there's a function on our Zoom where we can set subtitles, so I'll do that also. That might help slightly.
Okay.
So yeah, there's ways around it, but yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I mean-
as long as there's a way around it.
Yeah,
that's-
we can hear it. I mean, that's the main thing, isn't it? So
Yeah. So
cool.
I've got kids. Like I said, I've got kids here, and I've also got adults again.
So
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might
yeah.
have to I think that's okay for now. I might have to just stop the screen share just so I can
Yeah.
let
Stop that.
some-
That's fine.
That's okay.
My name is Abdullah Sane. I'm the
Cool. But yeah, no, that's brilliant. Yeah, there's
Oh,
just
I can still hear it. Where am I going to?
oh
Okay, so that's mine. Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, we have just got a couple of minutes before it starts. You have any other questions before I get going or
No. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
The one
See-
thing, if you can
Mhm.
just put in your if you could maybe just rename your on your Zoom just so it says Tuva instead, if that's okay, because that might be a little bit more,
Did you say?
because it obviously it says community cohesion because that's your
Okay.
position, but
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
just-
that's the laptop I took from me. Okay. Okay. So I can change that. Yeah. You.
yeah, just because today you're obviously
Yeah,
representing Tuva.
I need to change it somewhere. Oh, I can't remember it where I should change it actually.
What you do is you click on your name where it says Abdul Sane,
okay.
and then you rename, and then you'll be able to type it in.
Ah,
again.
okay. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
That's all right.
Rename.
Cool. So yeah, I've got a couple of people coming in, so I'm just going to kind of start. Yeah, if you're okay with everything. Cool.
Yeah. I'm good.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. Hello there. Good to see you both. Thank you for joining us today. Okay. So we're just obviously it's just 2 o'clock in a minute, but we'll just wait a few minutes or so to see a few more people joining, and then we'll get started.
Hello, Sam.
Hi Caroline, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. You're busy.
Yeah,
You're
got a
everywhere.
few meetings going on at the moment. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Hi there, Simon. Good to see
Hello.
you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
No problem.
Hi, Simon. Can't see you.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've got a dual screen, and I've got my Where are you? Got my laptop closed. Hang on a second.
Okay. No worries.
How are you doing, Caroline?
Yeah, good, good. Busy, but
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's picking up now.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's a good thing, Simon.
Hi, hello. Thanks for joining us today. Good to see you.
Hey, Doc, you all right? He's in his own world.
He's moved away from me. I don't know if it's something I
He's
said.
moved away from it all.
For those who've just joined us, we're just yeah, it is 2 o'clock now. We're just going to wait a few minutes just to see how many more people join us. Then we'll make a start.
And that's better. Abdullah, how are you? Oh,
Hello, my sister. How are you?
I keep shouting. How are you?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah, you're still at the
Welcome
beach
back.
side. Yeah. Good. Oh God, it was brilliant. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoyed
lots
it.
of people.
Not. I think altogether, the people they've accepted. I think we are 20. I think.
Wow, that's a big crowd.
Yeah. But that
Yeah.
also include the media people. Media
Yeah.
people are a good chunk of, because it's a celebrity, isn't it? Coming all the
Yeah.
way from France, So there's a lot of media people there.
Oh, you were inside the Parliament building.
We went to Parliament. We were not allowed in because the restriction has changed before we get there.
Oh,
Government has changed the I don't know how to call it. Their stuff because of this COVID micron or something.
okay. All right.
And they said no, we can't be in the Parliament. So they had to find a place for us not far from the Parliament, a building that we used for the meeting, for the workshop.
Yeah. And the threat level has been raised as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think that's the problem. Yeah, that's the
Threat
problem.
level.
Yeah, that is the problem. But and this is the first time I have gone face to face with Thuram Lilan. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I've watched him. I've supported him playing for France, winning World Cup. I've supported him at Monaco, Juventus, and Barcelona. And this time I was sitting with him talking about football, about races, about football. I couldn't just sit there. I couldn't believe it.
Did you pinch yourself?
Of course.
Just to yeah, let everyone know. I think we've got there isn't anybody who's joining us at the moment, but yeah, I'll give 2 more minutes and then we'll make a start. And then hopefully some more people will join us as we get going.
Yeah, so that was fantastic. So I was telling Caroline about my trip to London yesterday to attend Equality, Diversity and Inclusion meeting at the Parliament, and the guest of honor was Lilian Thuram from France, their national hero, World Cup winner, and he was the one who was there to talk to us, and we were there for 3 hours plus. Conversation about racism, about all sorts of things. It was absolutely incredible.
Ali, I think that deserves a shot on your radio.
Yeah. Is Ali here?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ali Beck, I have to come to your radio to talk about.
Ali is here, but Ali was very nearly not here.
Oh God, what happened, Ali?
I just received like the invite literally half an hour ago, so I had to rearrange everything.
Oh, thank you for being able
Oh
to do that.
God.
See you anyway.
But I'm here now. I'm here, so
Good to see you.
Yeah. It's good to see you, my brother.
How is
Hello,
everybody?
hello, Ali. I'm good. Yeah,
How are you, Abdullah? Yeah,
How
I'm
I'm
good.
just
how is
quietly
ev-
listening to you.
how is everybody except for Abdullah?
That doesn't surprise me, does it? Yeah, it's good to see you though.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's really good to see you.
Hello, we haven't met before. Where are you from?
Okay, so my name is Ali, not Awaz. It says Awaz there. Awaz is the radio station.
No,
So-
not Ali. Ali, we've met. Remember, I was on your.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
you. I meant hello,
Hilal, okay.
Ali. Another Ali, not you.
Oh, I'm gonna shut up then.
Hi,
You meet so many
Caroline.
people. You've forgotten me. I did a really good talk on your, the
I don't
community time.
I don't forget. I just like people reminding me. Hilal, go ahead.
Hi, Caroline. I think we're gonna do a little intro, won't we, Sam? But yeah, I
Wow.
work for
Yeah.
Victim Care Service or Victim Support. We're county-wide. So we support victims of all kinds of crime and traumatic experiences. But I specialize. My role is hate crime training and engagement coordinator. So that's county-wide as well. So yeah, that's me.
I've actually met you. You just didn't have your camera on because we were chatting
Okay.
in one of the meetings.
Well, I think we'll yeah, I was hoping a few more people would join us by now, but we're not. Yeah, it's nobody's come at the moment, so I'm hopefully as time goes on, we'll get a few more people coming. But yeah, I think it makes sense to go ahead with the session now. So I wasn't planning on doing introductions, but as there is only a few of us at the moment, I think it'd be handy just to do some short introductions, just what organisations we're representing today and our roles within those organisations. So I'll go with who we've got first on our screen, and yeah, start with Abdul.
Yeah, my name is Abdullah. Well, everybody know me anyway. My name is Abdullah. I work for the council as the Community Cohesion and Diversity Officer.
And if you just explain your role within Tuva as well.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, you see, that's what I'm supposed to actually say. Because this is about Tuva. Yeah, okay. My name is Abdullah Sani. I am the chairman of Tuva, the United Voice of African Association. It's an umbrella organization for Africans in the city and beyond, actually, because we've got some members in Gosport and Ferrum. So, but it's mainly concentrated in the city. Well, in the video, we're going to talk about more of what Tuva does, but in just general, I just want to say we've existed since 2015 as Tuva. Before Tuva, we were something else and a different name, but then we decided to have the United Voice of African Associations, umbrella organization for all Africans. And since that time, we tend to organize a lot of events, including cultural events, creating more awareness of different cultures, and especially African cultures. Africa is massive. I remember when I came here, newly, people were asking me, who is the president of Africa? That not realized, young people were asking me that question, not realizing that Africa is 54 countries. Yeah, so we try to come together and share our cultures and also share our cultures with other people. And we also run a support center supporting people to complete application forms and all sorts of things. Yeah, but the rest of the stuff, I think I will have it in the video itself that I'm going to play.
Thank you for that. Okay, so we'll move on to Caroline.
Hi, everyone. I'm Caroline, and I'm a community engagement officer with Southampton City Council. Only 3 months in the role.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you. And go to Simon Martin.
Hello. Yeah, so I work in the same sort of wider team as Caroline, and I have the pleasure of sitting next to Abdullah when we're both in the office. So I'm a tasking and coordination officer. As I say, I do a different role to these guys, but we're in the same overall team. And I've been there about a month and a half. So yeah, still sort of meeting people and putting names to faces, etc.
Great, thank you. Okay, and we'll move, and then Halal Ali.
Hi everyone. So yeah, my name is Hilal Ali. I work for Victim Support. My role is hate crime training and engagement coordinator. I'm also pretty much new. It's been about 5 months in my role. So yeah, it's me. Thank you.
Brilliant, thanks. And yeah, sorry, I'm not sure your name, but yeah,
Ali.
Ali from Awaz FM. Yeah.
My name is Ali from Awaz FM. We are a community radio station based in Southampton and broadcasting to Southampton and South Hampshire. And Simon, we sit next to Abdullah. I feel sorry for you. I feel for you, really.
Not at all. It's a constant source of
I know.
of laughter.
I had 5 years.
Always a smile.
Yeah. I love the guy to bits. I had 5 years.
Okay,
So
cool.
that's me. Sorry.
No problem. Brilliant. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, everyone. So yeah, I'll just introduce myself as well. So I'm Sam Waddington, the coordinator of the Southampton Hate Crime Network. Yeah, we as a network are a community kind of project initiative of 50 plus organizations now, and we've been going since around since about 2017. And our main aim is just to ensure all victims across Southampton affected by hate crime and get the support they need, and kind of developing a united kind of community kind of yeah, it's about uniting the community in order to tackle hate crime. And so that kind of brings me on to introducing the session as well, I guess. What this session is going to be about, and what we hope you'll get a good understanding of by the end of today, is on hate crime against African communities. We've done a number of sessions so far and have a number planned, which I'll be talking about more later on, about other types of hate crime. But we've kind of set these up to make sure people have knowledge, not just on hate crime generally, but on specific groups and how those groups are affected by not just hate crime, but similar issues, and yeah, the kind of issues that they face on a daily basis. And we yeah, we want to provide some awareness on that, which we hope will be useful. And yeah, which is why we've got Abdullah from United Voices of African Associations to who yeah, with Tuba being one of our network members. We're basically using these sessions to give our network members who support specific types of people affected by hate crime the chance to kind of talk about the work they do to support those people. And yeah, and it's obviously yeah, with Tuba supporting the African community in Southampton, it makes sense to for Abdullah to talk and share some information about the work that they're doing. So yeah, without further ado, then I'll pass it. Actually, sorry, just to clarify on a couple of points before we get started. We'll just make people aware that this session today is being recorded for people that can't watch the session live. So if you have an issue with that, please do let me know. And also just while we're doing the session today, unless we've yeah, and looks like you've all done it already, which is great. So yeah, unless you're speaking, just keep your microphone on mute to avoid the any interference. So so that's great, as we are at the moment. Okay, so yeah, there'll be a chance to ask questions later, but I think the best thing to do will be to hand it over to Abdullah now to present the session, and you'll hear from me again later. But yeah, I think Abdullah has some information to share. So, but yeah, I'll pass it on to you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's good that the crowd is small, it's even better to communicate. I'll be doing this presentation as I already introduced myself as the chair of the United Voice of African Association. I'm going to do the presentation. What I actually did was I recorded the presentation because I was going to London. I thought probably I will not be able to make it today. So I put the presentation together, video together. I've sent it to Victoria to put them together to about 10 to 12 minutes video of the way I arranged it is the first part of it is me introducing what hate crime towards Black people means, that is racism towards Black people, what it means to me. And then I came to the middle of the video to speak to different people, young people, adults, about what is it it means to them, and also whether they know anybody or whether they themselves have experienced hate crime. And then the end part of the video is about me saying what Tuva is doing about it and what people need to do when they experience this kind of hate crime. I will just want to emphasize that I am not an expert in hate crime or racism at all. I've experienced it myself, but I'm not an expert in it at all because EDI is another level. So I just want to say that at the beginning of this video. But what we are going to share is about life experiences of people who have experienced it and what was done about it. So I'm going to share the video. I'm going to play the video and then we take it from there. And if there is any question that you can ask at the end of this video. I know there is a lot of things that I could have said in the video, especially yesterday, I went to a meeting in London and I've learned a lot more about racism and how it is dealt and the idea of how racism came to be. So this video is just a synopsis of some of the issues probably we might learn. Okay.
Sorry, Abdul, I just wanted to, before you start your video, I think we can just about hear you, but I think there's some interference with your sort of crackling when you're speaking. I don't know if it's because of the earphones or whatever, but yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything you can do to fix that. But
yeah, can you hear me now properly?
Yeah, try saying a bit more.
Yeah, yeah, I was saying, I think
yeah,
maybe you need to put it.
I'm not sure. I mean, if you can't, then it's fine. We can still hear you, but
yeah, is the headphone. Can you hear me now?
I think that is better. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, so I was saying that I'm not an expert in this. So yeah, but it's life experiences that I've experienced myself and other people have experienced it. So I just want to play the video and then we listen to them. So if there's any question at the end of the video, you're free to ask. So where's the video gone? Oh gosh. Oh yeah, it's here. Can you hear it? Did I share it already? Hello?
Hi, Abdul. Yeah, it's not coming through at
It's
the
not
moment.
coming through.
No.
Okay. So 2 seconds. Okay, so let me go back to this. Can you see it now?
Yeah, we can see. You just have to play it now, I believe.
Oh, okay, cool.
My name is Abdullah Sane. I'm the chairperson of the United Voice of African Association. umbrella organizations for Africans.
I like a really good weekend with that.
At Western
And then it was like one week. But I think it was
Today, my presentation
of doing some very irregular shifts. So it took like one.
Sorry, could you just pause the video 1 second? Sorry, I think we can hear some. I think Halal, I think you've got your yeah, you've got your microphone. Yeah, that's better. Thanks. Cool. So I think if we start the yeah, apologies just before we start, just to say, yeah, I know someone's asked to have the volume turned up. That is unfortunately as loud as we can get it today. So you'll have to just listen carefully, but we will yeah, obviously ask questions at the end, and we will. I'm going to put some subtitles on as well. So if we can just yeah, bear with 1 second. Yeah. Yes, that's it. Brilliant. So you'll see there's some subtitles there, which aren't the best, but they will hopefully help if you needed. So yeah, no, that's all good now. We can if you just play it from the beginning, Abdul, so in case we've missed anything.
My name is Abdullah Sane. I'm the chairperson of the United Voice of African Associations, an umbrella organizations for Africans in the city. We run third-party hate crime reporting center at Western Community Trust on Derby Road. Today, my presentation is racism towards Black people, or if you like, race hate crime towards Black people. For me, race hate crime simply means any violence, incident, or crime that is racially motivated, and that includes a public insult and defamation, name calling, threats, an incident of racial violence or racial abuse, discrimination, exclusion, isolation, stop and search, making people feel they do not matter or they do not belong, ignoring people in meetings, making people feel uncomfortable, looking over their shoulders all the time, and undermining people, destroying their confidence. But it also includes institutional racism, which, like, for example, in losing culture in an institution where Black people have to work twice as hard as their white colleagues to enjoy same privilege.
Do you think racism still exists? Sorry? Do you know of anyone who's faced racist attack or abuse? And what do you think should be done about it? I didn't get that, sorry. Expose. How do you think we can expose them? Okay. Do you think racism still exists? Do you know of anyone who's faced racial abuse or racial attack? What do you think can be done about it? What do you think should happen to stop racism? Yeah.
Racism is still happening, and I was victim of a racial attack yesterday when dropping my daughter to the train station. She's going back to university, and I'm a mother of 3 children, 21, 18, and 5. We were hugging each other to say goodbye, and there was these 2 adults, white adults, that came close to us, and they were making monkey noises, and they found that very funny, and I just asked my children to ignore them because we were in a very emotional state, saying goodbyes to one of our loved ones. So I would say, yeah, racism is very, very still happening. And you're having a conversation with someone that excuse themselves of not being racial, but then have a racial comment that is still very, very color. The color of my skin to an animal, or to a certain noise, or maybe to a type of food, because it's known that people from my race love eating fried chicken. So to me, that's racism.
What does it mean to you personally?
Yeah, well, personally, I know in terms of legislation anyway, it's like any incident where you feel racially abused is when remarks have been made, any derogatory remarks in terms of your color, ethnic color, nationality, or even your faith, and to make you feel inferior and to put fear in you of the person. And to me, that is definitely racism.
For me, racism is that if you want to become in power of someone and show somebody very down, and show that you are in power and you are ruling somebody, that's racism.
Hi, I'm 19 years old, and this is just to say that racism still exists. So there was a time, like I think it was like 2 weeks ago, me and my uncle walking past the door on our way to go take some pictures for city council's diversity project. And so obviously me and my uncle were talking, and then there were some people around drinking around that area, and then 2 men had come up to us and they asked if we were okay. We just replied saying yes, we shook them off. And then they proceeded to look past and say, "You're right, monkey boy," to my uncle. And then they were screaming and laughing, like screaming out, just repeating this whole saying, "You're right, monkey boy," screaming and laughing and laughing. Like obviously, I have never experienced direct racism before, so I was in shock. Like I was literally so shocked, because obviously I've heard it online, but I've never experienced it myself, and I know people have around me. But obviously, it's a different experience when it's you. So obviously I turned to my uncle and I was like, "Did you hear what they're saying? Like, is this real?" And then afterwards I was like, "Have you ever experienced this before?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course." Like he just seemed so, like it was something so normal. And to me, I was in shock, because I was like, "Oh my gosh," like I know it happens, but it's so different when it's actually happening to you directly. And obviously there's nothing that my uncle could do, because by the time they were screaming, there was people around there drinking. So obviously there's nothing we can actually do. You just have to look past it, act like it's not.
Hello.
Hi.
Do you think racism exists?
Yes.
Do you know anyone who has suffered racial abuse?
Yes.
Can you give us an example, please?
Friends that I went to school and university with, and colleagues that I work with currently.
Wow. What do you think can be done to address this?
So many things. I know that the police are trying to do a sort of stronger stance on taking things seriously, but I think a lot more can be done from them with current things that are going on, and then sort of education with children, and especially in predominantly white areas, they don't have a lot of experience of ethnically diverse sort of classmates, and they can have a lot more education done to help them have more understanding.
You know, there's this talk about education. What about emotion around racism?
Yeah, it's a motive, which I think then leads a lot of people not to want to talk about it, and maybe a lot of parents to just shut the conversation down if they feel uncomfortable talking about it with their kids.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hello. Do you think racism still exists?
Hi. Yes. Racism has never gone away. All it has become is like been mutated into institutions, and it's deeply rooted there. And it's something that will never go away, is it?
Wow. Do you know anyone who has faced racial abuse?
Oh yes, I've been in this country for the past 25 years, and every day of my life I have to think of what to say. I've got to feel less human when I go out, I have faced so many situations where I was racially profiled. Coming from shops, you are the person that they focus on. Police stop you, they search your bag. You ask them, why have you done it to me? Why have you not done to the next person? They tell you this is routine. So routine only works when it's for black people. I remember so many times you are even stopped at traffic lights. The police will say, oh, we are just doing routine checks. But you've got 4 or 5 cars that have gone before you. They have never stopped it. So racism, the worst part of this racism in Britain is institutional. So it's so subtle in the institutions. You will never find it if you don't dig deeper.
Now, what do you think can be done to address or eradicate racism or racial abuse?
So racism is a thing of the heart. So it's something that people have to let go. If you can't let go, it doesn't matter what legislation you put in place, it won't work because it has to start from up there. I mean, I've worked for Hampshire for a long time. I used to question all the time, is there, what capacity should a black person or an Asian person be to be a manager in the local authority itself? So when they are talking about racism, eradicating racism, it doesn't work. It has to start from there. So the institutions have got to recognize the injustice. They've got to recognize that there is something not quite right. And when they do that, if it starts from there, it's likely to change. But for as long as it's from bottom to top, it won't change.
That is a lot, and that is food for thought. Thank you for taking time to tell us about your experience.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Racism still exists, and I know people who have gone through it, and it's not good at all. And I always say, call it out. Don't keep quiet. I work with young children, and the stress they go through when they have to face such incidents from people that they thought should understand that it's not okay. You know, because of the color of one's skin. I don't want to call it color, because of the pigmentation of one's skin doesn't give anyone the right to feel the other is better than the other. So racism still exists, and it's left for us as people to take out that bias that we may have about others and see them as human beings as they are and cherish them for who they are. And with that, we could have a really strong, thriving, welcoming community.
As this presentation is about black people experiencing racism, it's very important that you understand that your safety comes first. If you find yourself in a situation, in a dangerous situation, please immediately call the police on 999. That's 999. If you experience racism and it's not in that situation, then you can call 101. Or you can call victim support on 0808-1689-111. Or you can call Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. Or you can just download Love Don't Hate app and report the incident on that app. Tuva has been very active in the community. We've been doing lots of stuff. But some of the things, examples of activities that Tuva is doing to engage the community and to promote love and dispel hate includes running a third-party hate crime reporting center, encouraging people to report directly on the numbers that I have just mentioned, and also to encourage victims to seek for support. We also encourage people to report if they experience incidents like this, to report it at their schools, at various schools, because we know at schools there are incidents of racism there. And at workplaces, to report to authorities at the workplaces, and also at places of worship, the authorities at places of worship. If they experience anything like that, they need to report it to those people. If they're in the community, out and about, they can report it to people, some of the people that they trust, and they should not put themselves in danger. Some of the activities that Tuva was involved in is to organize tours, especially after major incidents like the attack of the Chinese lecturer, and also an incident after England's football.
Yeah, thank you very much. That is the presentation we put together for today. I know one of the things probably Ali will probably ask is why didn't I use the local victim support number? I tried it because when I was putting it together, I called that number and there was an error. We couldn't get through. So I thought probably maybe something is going wrong. So that's why I used the central number.
No, that's also fine. That will get transferred to us anyway.
Oh,
so
okay, okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. So is there any comment or contributions or questions that you might ask?
Questions for Abdul after watching the video? Or comments or suggestions from maybe what similar things they've encountered?
No, I mean, no, that was brilliant, Abdullah. Thank you ever so much for that. And it's a bit of a refresher for ourselves as well, isn't it? And I think the gentleman on there, you know, he hit the nail on the head, really, you know, by explaining, like, you know, Black people are like 4 times more likely to be stopped and searched by police, which we know, you know, that is happening nationally as well. Even when it comes to health inequality, you know, it's more of a structural problem, isn't it? Employment, health, education, you know, it all has that kind of ripple effect for sure. And I think the other thing is, like, especially with the young people, like when they're experiencing like any form of hate crime, you know, bearing in mind the intersectionality as well, because you could be Muslim and could be Black, right? You could be disabled, Muslim and Black, right? So it's like you share the 3-4 protected characteristic, and the significant impact it has on young people. And it's key to kind of get that education in place, you know, going out, speaking about it, you know, whether you're at work, whether you're out in a social gathering, regularly talking about it, because we have generation of people, you know, who don't have the understanding around it. So it's more like a moral kind of duty to kind of raise that awareness, talk to them, you know, reason with them, make them understand, you know, why it matters, the impact it has. Because, you know, for myself, I always share that in my training session, for instance. You know, as a child I was affected, you know, it wasn't direct, but seeing it through my parents experiencing racism, where you see a knife, you know, through the letterbox and racial remarks being made by the neighbor, for instance. We as child, my mom's trying to protect us, you know, we witnessed that is like child abuse to start with. As you grow up, of course it does, it affects your confidence, your self-esteem, you know. This is the bigger impact, isn't it? So this is why we kind of, when we hear from certain BAME like communities, people talk about it, it's because the austerity they've suffered through generation as well, that has a massive impact, you know. And underreporting, of course it is because the lack of trust in policing authorities, because people have experienced it in the past, they reported it, nothing got done about it, and you know, they just kind of end up being desensitized over it and just think, you know what, we just put up with it when it happens. If we can within our own capacity, we'll challenge it. Otherwise, we just sit with it. So yeah, it's definitely, but it was really good, Abdullah, to kind of, you know, have that refresher, really. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Len wants to say something. I can see his mouth moving.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm sorry I was a bit late, but can you hear me okay? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't hear, you know, or see your presentation from the beginning, but I just wanted to say that I mean, there is although hate hate crime, racism, racial abuse, they're all they're sometimes used interchangeably, but there are differences, you know, between racism, hate crime, and you know, general racial abuse. And you know, the police would get involved if something is a hate crime, or if it's racial abuse in the act of committing another offense, or where it can be an aggravating factor, but they're not necessarily going to get involved in any kind of racism. It's got to be, the law is kind of specific about what the police could, what is a crime, rather than just general racism.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. That contextualizing is important and it's fine. So yeah, that's good. Thank you for that. And Anne-Marie, I think. Sam. Hello,
yes,
Sam.
Yes.
Sam. Anne-Marie runs anti-racist. What's it called? Anti-racist. Can you help me out? Sorry.
For campaign?
Yeah, I think Kristen.
Hi everyone. Yes, I run an anti-racist book club. So we meet every other week, every other month, selecting a new book to read, getting together, discussing it, etc. And I welcome anyone who wants to take part. We meet face to face as well as online at the same time, so anyone wants to participate can. I also provide a scanned copy of the book to maximize access, and so please just I'll put my email there, and then if it's run off of WhatsApp, so I can put my phone number actually as well. Maybe that's easier for everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. It's good to know for everyone. Okay.
Sam.
Yeah.
Hi, Sam. I'm just going to answer what Len was saying, which is quite crucial, actually.
Yeah. Go
so,
ahead.
Len, so sometimes, like, you're absolutely right. Sometimes you might report a hate incident that doesn't quite meet the threshold of like a hate crime. But what happens is, by reporting it to the police, it helps them to kind of gather data and also tension monitor. So say, for instance, some part in Southampton, 10 people reported, similar sort of incident where the police can't do much about it because of lack of evidence. It could be, or they try to make inquiry, but nothing come of it. So what happens is they gather data and it helps them to kind of tackle it more in a holistic way with like, the third party reporting centers as well. For our service as a national charity, we're kind of commissioned more locally as a victim care service. So the victim will come to us, all right, and we will support them, because that's very important as well, because the victim will feel isolated, won't it? Like nothing got done about it. The police didn't really do anything. So when they come to us, we will provide that emotional, practical support, build on their confidence. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It could be from 2 days support to, if they need it more long term, we're there for them, because it's really important to get that victim support in place. Otherwise, the victim, what will happen next time, they ain't going to report it because nothing gets done about it. And we will explain the whole process with them. All right, fair enough, we understand the police did trying to make inquiries, nothing really come of it, but you've done the right thing by reporting it, and you have to continue to report if it happens again. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of answer that.
Can I just come back to you on that? I think what you're doing is great, because people find it difficult. I can probably say this because I used to work for the probation service, and we had an incident box set up in the office, in the waiting room, where people could anonymously report racial abuse and hate crime incidents, and we never got a single report. I think, we may just got one, and it was from a white person, but people just didn't, seem encouraged to report these incidents. And so, and I know that within the council, there's there's a guy called Don John. You may have known him. He worked for the council before, and he was with hate crime. And it's something that people tend to be reluctant to report, particularly to the police as well. So directly to the police. So it's, but as you say, if statistics are being kept and they can be, you know, useful. But certainly, I know that in the past, and maybe things have changed. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not sure because of, you know, I'm talking about, you know, up to about maybe 5-6 years ago. But certainly, there's been a reluctance of people to report hate crime to the police or to to authorities, you know, to authority agencies. So, you know, if your group or what your service is helping, then, you know, that's good, because there's that general reluctance.
I'll give you, sorry,
Go on.
just a quick example, and you're absolutely right. And it's a generational thing as well, you know, like more of our old kind of BAME community members, for instance, you know, they've had it quite hard. And if you're asking me personally, I think we have come a long way. You know what I mean? Now I think with the police, they take it more seriously. There's more different legislations, like hate crime legislations have come about. Hampshire and Isle of Wight police take it very seriously. I'll give you an example, because I directly support victims as well. You know, only recently I had a chap who got an Islamophobic attack in Isle of Wight. So can you imagine? Very isolated, kind of, not on the main line. You know, he got attacked, right? So he did initially report it to the police, but he didn't know the whole process. By him, he has to provide a statement, support a prosecution, none of that, you know, and he wasn't in the right frame of mind to kind of make a statement. So the police got involved over the phone, and he said, yeah, when I feel a little bit more confident and comfortable, I will report it. When the police transferred the data to us, okay, I made that phone call to him. It took me about an hour and a half to build that confidence back in him. And I was able to do that, you know, because he's an Asian chap. I had to tell him in black and white, listen, you have to provide a statement. If you provide a statement, right, I will look at the rest for you. Believe me, the police will take it very seriously. He was telling me, brother, what's the point of me reporting? The police ain't going to do anything about it. And I'm like, how do you know this same person is going to go around? He's probably going to target my wife, your sister, your community members. We need to do something about it. He's like, all right, then I'll see what I can do. I said, listen, as soon as we finish this call 101 and ask them you want to provide a statement. Believe me, they're going to take it very seriously. And as a result, guess what happened? Right? He provided a statement. 2 days later, the police viewed the CCTV, caught that guy, put him in court the next day. They didn't bail him, and as a result, he's been remanded until January. So that's a result. That's a result by him providing that statement. If he didn't, that racist person would have got away with it, and he would have targeted other people. So I think as a community, we also have a massive moral responsibility as well to encourage our community members and say that, you know what, we have to go through the process, right? We have to follow absolutely everything within the law. So that includes, you know, providing a statement, supporting a prosecution, you know, questioning the police officers, you know, like, you know, go and make these inquiries, review the CCTV, you know. But sometimes, you know, it can happen like you're walking in the street and someone just made a comment, there's no CCTV, you know, it's your word against the other. You know, we get a lot of these incidents, but it's very important for them victims to come to us where we could build that confidence back into them. Otherwise, you know, next time they ain't going to report it and they're going to feel let down. So, you know, by coming to us, we will say, you know, you've done absolutely the right thing. It's sad that's what's happened, but only if we had some sort of evidence. Believe me, we would have taken it seriously. But how are you anyway? What can we do for you to build you back up again? You know, so you don't go home ending up sharing it with your, you know, family and community, because it's that segregation and the tension it's going to cause in the community. That's also important. So I think just generally, personally, I think we have come a long way, and this kind of network, these kind of awareness sessions, you know, I was expecting more people, if anything, you know, it's like our regular people, but you know, it's very important, and we have to constantly talking about it, even wherever it is, you know, at work, your microaggression side of things, you know, all of that stuff is very important to openly talk about it, you know, let people know, you know, how it impacts, what it causes.
I think it's good to hear that you know, that people are getting that support, because I think, you know, that's where the problem lies, because of apathy, you know, apathy, where people feel that there's no point, you know, reporting it because nothing is going to be done about it. And if they're getting that support, you know,
to help them to feel confident, to report the incident and to follow it through as well. I think then that's a big change. But certainly in the past, the big step was to report it to somebody, and people were reluctant. But now, if I think, and it might have been because they didn't think that they would get the support, to follow things through. So it's good to see that that is happening now. Yeah.
Right.
I would like to.
Yeah, sorry, Caroline.
Sorry, I would like to invite anyone who wants to speak. So I'm a lecturer at the University of Winchester, and I would absolutely welcome any of you, whether it's via Teams or whatever, to speak to my class about either the work that you do or the racism that you find, the cases you deal with, obviously anonymously, to raise awareness. Anything that I can do to assist getting that word out, or widening communication with community, let me know. I can be a part of that.
Excellent. That's excellent. Sam, you wanted to say something? I just wanted to say, these are the stories that we want to hear more of, Ali. These are the stories that people need to hear more of, that something is being done about it. Because as Len said, over the years, some people have tried to physically give the mobile phone in their hand just to click on the app, Love Don't Hate. It still became a problem. They said that, I don't want to waste my time, on doing anything, like, even if it goes to the police, they're just going to call me, talk to me, waste my time. So there's no point doing it. So that has been going on for a very long time. Only a few people are able to do it. So it's very important, and it's crucial that stories like this is shared with the communities, in forums, so that people know actually something has been done about it. I think that's the only way we can go forward. A lot of activities we have been doing in communities, to promote love, community integration and stuff like that. But sometimes, we have odd cases like this. Me, myself, in the past, I would just ignore. For many people, it has become a normal thing, a norm to them, for somebody to say a racist comment against them. I've been passing on the road, and then people in the car see me, "Oh, go back to your country. What are you doing here?" That has happened to me more than 10, 15 times in the past. But now, when it happens to me, if it happens to me, I'll report it, because I felt like now I know the value of reporting it. But before, I didn't know the value of reporting, because I thought, if I report it that time and they were just in the car passing, if I report it, what is it going to be done about it? Because I don't even know them. But one of the things now I know, when I joined this, is the fact that, it can be documented to show that these places are hotspots, that resources can be allocated towards those areas. So that's crucial, that is important. And, myself, like I said, the lady said, I've experienced racist remark just 2 months ago, but what did I do about it? The only thing that I could do at that point in time is not to confront the person that is giving those remarks, because it would have been fatal. But I went and reported it online so that they know that this thing has happened at that particular place. So those are some of the messages. What Ali is doing is fantastic. Now that we know that it's not only about reporting, I think whenever we talked about reporting, we should say report and receive support. I think those two should go together, because people see there's no point reporting. So if they know that reporting and support are there, go together in our campaigns, in anything that we provide, we put the two together, because they should go together. If they don't go together, what's the point of reporting that? I think that's a key message that we should be able to communicate with people. Sam.
Thank you for that, Abdul. Yeah, I think that's really important. Yeah, to highlight. I know, Caroline, I saw your hand raised a while ago. Did you want to make a point?
Well,
I think she was clapping.
Everyone has spoken what I was going to say, but just to add is the importance of raising awareness around the importance of reporting, because I mean, we have to be realistic and let people know that one, they have the right to decide whether they want to support a conviction or not, because not everyone is in that position for various reasons. Could be, immigration or domestic abuse, they are, those things. So we have to be realistic, let people know. And two, even if they report and they are willing to support a conviction, it's not always the case that they'll get the result that they want. So people need to know that, but just the importance of having that documented so that, people know that there is a problem. Because if we don't report, when we talk about racism or institutional racism or racial profiling, people will not understand, because unfortunately we live in a world of statistics. We have to have the statistics to back those claims up. So yeah, really just emphasizing the importance of reporting, but also being upfront about the reality of the outcomes. Because some people think if they report, that person will be, chastised or they'll get some repercussion, but that doesn't always follow. Yeah, forgotten the other thing I wanted to say.
Yeah, I think what you've said, it makes sense. It's just that people knowing that, they need to report and there is support out there. But the support does not necessarily mean that, it is going to be on their, well, they will get whatever they wanted. The support will be probably in the process itself. The fact that, there's someone out there to support it, take the process like Ali has done, take the process of reporting, how are you going to do it, and explain to you the things that are involving. Because sometimes all you need is to know a little bit more about reporting, what is more likely to happen. For instance, if you tell people that, oh, you need to report all cases, okay, so when I report it, what's going to happen? So we need to inform them that, well, when you report it, it will go to the place, and this is what is going to happen. It's not always likely that the police will see it as hate crime, or it will be profiled as this type of incident. But one thing is for sure is that it's going to be recorded. It's going to be recorded, and if you need support, there is somewhere that you'll go for support. Because as I said, if people will not come on board if you keep on telling, oh, report it, because they have been hearing for years. Report it. So what? Report, so what? So what is what we need to bring it to them. And as you said, you need to be upfront. You need to be very clear to them that it does not mean that when you are reported, the person will be caught and be taken to prisons. There is a process that is involved, and that process will determine what happens next. I think that's crucial.
And it's also the advocacy work as well, isn't it? For some, people, they might not have the capacity to kind of, do things by themselves. So they need that kind of, advocate to help them, to support them through the process, ask the police, the authorities, those sort of questions as well. Why haven't they pursued it? Why is it taking time? Why haven't you taken? And this is the kind of work that we do, so it's very important to get that in as well for the victims. They could have language barrier as well, those sort of kind of barriers.
And I think there's a difference between anti-racism and tackling racist or racial abuse. And I think anti-racism it's not something new. It's something that was happening a long time, even in the 70s. From the 70s, there were anti-racist demonstrations and also. But anti-racism is something that challenges the white community or the host community, about their behavior, their attitudes. Tackling racism is something that I feel everybody as a whole, should be doing, and particularly people from the BM community, because we are the ones who are most affected by racism. So, we have to do something about it, whether it's reporting it or or dealing with it ourselves, also the sort of biases that people may have, what's called the unconscious biases, which is quite a sort of subtle form of racism, which you can't legislate against, and it's difficult to deal with. So, but I think anti-racism is something I think that the white it's a conversation that the white community should be having with itself, whereas having to tackle racial abuse is something that we have to do because we are affected by it. The BM community I'm talking about. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Okay. So yeah, I don't know, Abdul, if there was anything else you kind of wanted to add, on top of the presentation, to any other comments related to Tuba or anything else?
I think for me, as Ali said, I'm just disappointed that we haven't got a lot of people. I think this invite has been sent to a lot of people, so we got only a few people coming to this meeting. So that really surprised me, considering the importance of this topic that we're talking about. But I yesterday I went to this workshop in Parliament organized EDI workshop. That's Equality, Diversity and Inclusion workshop for not only for parliamentarians but for the communities, and they invited someone from France to come and I guess speak. That's Lilian Thuram. I don't know whether you know him, the World Cup winner for France, the footballer. So he was there, talking to us. But the main focus came to racism. That was the end discussion for 3 hours. We are discussing about racism, the institutional racism, the legal legitimizing racism across Europe and other places, and also in terms of institutional overrepresentation of white ideology in institutions. Because most of the time what we do is we talk about underrepresentation of Black people or Asian, or let's say BME people in senior positions, like this guy has said in the video, that what will it take for him to be a manager at city council, because he has been there for ages and he's done all the courses that needed to be done, and still he could not get the position that he deserves. So we talked about underrepresentation, but overrepresentation is what we don't talk about. So overrepresentation is some of the things that design policies, because if a majority of the 99% of the people in the policy making role, the chances are their thoughts and their feelings and their benefits are what is going to be reflected in the policies that have been made. So those are issues that was brought up in the discussion we had yesterday, and there were a lot of important things that we talked about in terms of where this racism actually comes from, and what is policing the racism, what is making it stronger in communities instead of dealing with it properly. We've got institutions, we've got people that are protecting those policies, those laws, and implementing those laws. People in the community becomes more and more marginalized and their voice not heard. So those are issues, some of the issues that we talk about. Thuram talked about his own experience at the age of 9 when his mom thought that racism is normal. It's normal. It's a normal thing. They just have to accept it and move on. But this is why he said he has experience from age of 9 up to 25, up to the end of his career. But it was after that he realized that something needs to be done about it. So we have a lot of things to do, a lot of work to do, not only in Southampton, but everywhere else. But what Ali is doing, especially changing those narratives, is very important for us to share with communities. If there is any way that we can share to tell communities that actually something has been done about it, because that's what many people don't see. They don't see anything being done about anything. As a result of that, they don't want to risk a relationship with other people. At work, you don't want to, because we know racism is always happening at work, places, at schools. So, but you don't want to risk your employment because you think that when you report it, the chances are you jeopardize your own relationship with your staff, with your colleagues, and also probably you might not progress in the work that you are doing.
Yeah. I think, also educating people from the community about racism, because not, as you're saying, a lot of people when they're young probably think it's either normal or they don't recognize it. Although you hear a lot of young people say, well, I've never, didn't know anything about racism until a particular time or event. And that's probably because, they are not, you grew up in a society where, because you want to be kind of accepted, it's easy to feel, to see everything as normal. I mean, I wasn't born in this country, so I came to this country. So, things are quite different from where I came from. And so it was easy for me to notice when things, were not going, when to feel, well, like, you don't belong, or people make you feel like you don't belong, or people make you, feel like you shouldn't be here, or whatever. I think for younger people, because they grew up here, there's a kind of, they don't easily see, when things are, not quite what they expect. It's only when there's like a jolt to the system that they realize, hang on, this isn't right, or this, and I think sometimes educating people, particularly where people have roots in a different country, like most BME people, and they, some of them are not, they haven't got that, that confidence about, about their history, their roots, where they come from, to help them to kind of manage or be confident about dealing with racism. So I think some, educating.
I think education is one of the things that Turam says throughout. He says our BME people needs to be educated. He was asked a question. He said the question was, because he wrote a book called The White Thinking. I don't know, maybe if you have time, you look online, you see that book. He wrote White Thinking. That's the name of the title of the book. It's about racism and how it could be tackled. He was asked that question by the MP. If you want one person to read this book, who will it be? He said to himself, that will be him when he was age of 9. Yeah, he said that book should be read by every child that comes from the BME community, because they need to be educated, because the mom told him that it was normal at the age of 9. So if he had read that book at the age of 9, he would have known that it's not normal. So there are ways that, we should educate people. Those are information that he said should be shared with children. Everybody should be educated from childhood so that they will know their rights and responsibilities, and they will know where they are in the society and how society should respond to their needs and aspirations. So that is really, really important. Just to add that to what Len has just said.
Yeah, I think I just want to say also is about the structures. I mean, one of the things that support racism and discrimination and abuse is the structures that actually support people who do these things, and the structures are, they've been there for years. I mean, the colonial structures, the belief systems of people, there's a whole.
It's privilege you're talking.
Sorry.
The privilege side of things you're talking about now.
There's privilege, but also there's structures. Like the whole. I mean, today I was listening to Prince Charles about Barbados and has got independence.
Yeah.
He was talking about this slavery being the stain of British history, and that was the first time I've ever heard anybody mention slavery in terms of British history. That's the first. It was almost something like it was washed out of the history. History. So if you are a young person growing up here, a Black person or Asian person, the whole idea, you will never learn about that part of British history. I mean, the other one of the things that always strike me was the some of people would say, oh well, we fought in the Second World War, we fought to keep people free, to keep you lot free or to free, and you think, well, Commonwealth soldiers were not recognized as part of the war effort until sort of fairly recently. Mm-hmm. So although you hear the racists saying, oh well, we fought Hitler to keep the world free or whatever, but they would not acknowledge the effort by soldiers from India, from Africa, from all over the Commonwealth. Mm-hmm. They were only recognized in the last 10, 20 years. They were recognized. So you have all these structures within the society that reinforce the kind of perception that people here have of themselves and how they perceive other people. And until those structures until those structures are kind of challenged and people are educated about them, then it's going to be to tackle racism itself. That's I think that's what we you need to, but that's what needs to be done in my view. So sorry.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that in addition to what you are just talking about is one of the things that Lilian Thuram said in his talk yesterday was about the native codes that France had when countries were having their independence from France in Africa. They signed an agreement that France will continue to pay France every year certain amount of money. Recently, since 1960, I think, to now, every year, France colonized countries in Africa will contribute about 500 million euros every single year since 1960 till now. And what France will do is they will take some of those money back and give it to them as loans with interest. Imagine I pay you the money from my coffers because you gave me independence. I pay you money from my coffers, and then you take some of that money because I am struggling financially. You put that money back, send that money back to me again, and put it on interest, and you keep on. So these are some of the things these are structural things that talk about in terms of legitimizing what is actually illegal, and UN is aware of it. Britain is aware of it. Everywhere they were aware of it, but no one talks about it at all. No one gets anything done about it. And you are talking about a history here. My children, my BME children, we try to teach them about slave trade and other things. This is why we published that book, the book that we say 500 years history in Southampton. It's two ways. It's one, they learn about slavery, the slaves that were here in Southampton, 500 years. And those people have immensely contributed to our economy. And there are other people who were not slaves, but they are also in Southampton, and they immensely contributed to the economy of Southampton. So in terms of identity, they should not be seeing themselves as not belonging here, because that's the question that people keep on asking. What are you doing here? You don't belong here. Go back to your country. Actually, we were here for 500 years, and we have actually contributed immensely to this community. So we want our children to see that this is their home, and this is why we had all those stories there, both positive, that's terms of slavery, but also positive stories about people who have skills and they competed and helped the economy of Southampton City to grow. So those are some of the things, a few of the things that we can do to demystify the idea that we don't belong here, and the idea that we come here to benefit from other people, from the British community. And our contributions have not been acknowledged. We have got so many doctors in this city that are Nigerians, Ghanaians, Africans, Asian doctors. But how many times do we talk about them? Even when we were clapping for the doctors, for the nurses during this lockdown. How many doctors and consultants died? Who were the first people to die in here when the coronavirus arrived? So those are all structural issues that people don't talk about it. And it needs to be talked about because they could actually physically contribute, but people don't recognize it. They don't talk about them. And it's not fair. When we talk about heroes, we don't talk about Black heroes. We don't talk about Asian heroes. Those are heroes. Those are people that are heroes that people need to celebrate and need to talk about.
My son came home from school the other day and talked about Christopher Columbus in 1492. I then tried to address it and will continue to address that. And I just confronted the teacher today when I picked him up, saying, that it sounded a bit whitewashed. Obviously, I wasn't in the classroom at the time, exactly what she said, but she said, no, it wasn't whitewashed. We talked about the good things he did and the bad things. And I was like, I'm sorry, the good things. She used the word discovery and things like that. So I want to know exactly what actions we can take. I think, talking about racism on the ground is very important and what actions we can do to address it. However, in my opinion, I think the government would love to see us keep ourselves busy with the racism on the ground and forget about the structural racism or, racism within our schools and things like that, our curriculum. And so, whether it's a part of this group or just me independently, I'd really like to try to think of a way to address it. I've emailed my son's school. There's a national basically decolonizing or anti-racist curriculum that was voluntarily rolled out. And very few schools adopted it basically across the country because it was voluntary. I've emailed my school, my son's school, why haven't you adopted it? Didn't get a response. Board of Governors never responded. I've tried to address other issues. Where's your EDI reports? Didn't get a response, couldn't find it on their website, things like that. There's some serious issues that I would love to deal with. And if anyone is on board with trying to think of what to tackle first, how to tackle it above and beyond the racism, because I see at my university, management is addressing racism by coming up with a reporting system, which is fantastic, should have always been there. But it's focused on student to student or staff and student, this student was racist to me, and so I want to anonymously report them, and so which is hugely valuable. However, it completely ignores the white supremacist management my university has. It completely just ignores any sort of racism coming from them. So how can we address that beyond just the on the ground reporting and which is key, but moving the conversation beyond that, like Abdullah was pointing out, this addressing structural racism in a very effective, timely way. Anyone else on board with that?
I think you're right. I think addressing structural racism is, or addressing the structures that support racism is probably, the key to,
addressing
reducing racism. But that's quite a big ask, and I think in America, there's this thing about. Sorry, let me just get around my head around it. Critical race theory. I don't know if people have heard of critical race theory, which is something that is not taught in schools, but there's a big backlash from parents, not teachers, or about and from the Republican Party about critical race theory and saying it's dividing the country and all that sort of stuff. So I think Christine, when she, the sort of things that she's advocating now in America, there's a big backlash against that.
But that was because of Trump and his government, because Trump is completely against it.
Well, it's not Trump. You're talking about Republican Party and a lot of the white supremacists. That's what they reacted against. All the critical race theory isn't something that is taught in schools. It's something that's taught at university level. So you have, but they want to make it a big issue, and whether you're going to have the same response in this country, if one has that, begin to have that kind of conversation, about the structures, whether there's going to be some kind of I don't know, backlash or something. So but
I think that's a possibility. There might be backlash.
But the conversation needs to be had about this, and particularly history. It's difficult to for people who might be for being children who are from Black and Asian minority ethnic communities, or biracial children, or any, to develop that sense of confidence, about, their heritage or their history. If they're not taught about it, if they're not, or if it's seen in the light of people who were victors of war and who were colonizers, and the stories is the narrative is their narrative, and not necessarily the real facts about the situation.
We'll probably come to the close of this. Sam will say, but I just wanted to say a few things in relation to what you've just said now, because there are structural issues. What Tuva did, what we did, I think that is probably the beginning of what every society should do, every group should do. That is to make sure that we write books about the history of Black people in this particular city, so that they can contextualize it. This is our history. We are part of the bigger history of the city. That is our history, 500 years of history. That is Black people in the city. And the other important thing about it is to make sure that that history is accessible to schools, because that's what we did. We make sure that 24 schools have our books in their library. And a few teachers, some of the teachers have actually started engaging children with our books, downloading and making it simplified so that children will be able to absorb the information. I think that's actually happening, because I received some emails from some teachers, the way they plan their lessons and the way they are breaking down the information for children, even at secondary school, for them to be able to access that information. I've seen that one. And there are children who also have watched the video. The video that I have been invited to a few schools to talk about the book and to talk about why the book is relevant to children in this generation. I did those talks. I went there with the author of the book, herself. We went there, we talked about the book and why it's relevant, why it's important. So that is the beginning of this conversation for me. That's the beginning of this conversation. And I think it's really important we take the conversation in that light. If we are able to do more of that, you know, the education system, the education is not helping us, but if the education is seen that children are getting more interested in that, and also the teachers are getting more interested and they're sharing information more, the chances are they will open to the idea of decolonizing the whole curriculum and make it more accessible, make it a history for everybody, not a history of only a few people in the city. Yeah, I think that's anyway, thank you very much. I think I have to go.
Abdullah, yeah, as Abdullah said, we are coming to the end of today's sessions, but yeah, it's been great to have everyone here today, and unfortunately we didn't have as many people as we would have liked today, but I think we still had some very useful discussions, and yeah, this session is going to be available for people who weren't able to attend today as well. So and hopefully they'll find it useful. But I think yeah, no, I think it's been a good useful for all of us here today anyway. But I'm just going to for a couple of minutes just share the screen and just mention a bit about our hate crime network. And give you a little bit of information on that. So just bear with me one second while I get that shared now. Okay, so yes, hopefully you can see that okay. So I've just basically put some contact details for me, the Southampton Hate Crime Network Coordinator. And yeah, you can take those now. That will be, yeah, that I can give you information about what are the hate crime network generally, and provide you with resources, as you can see below there, resources for raising hate crime awareness and our contact list of all our members. So if you want to have those kind of resources, then by all means contact me, and I'll be happy to provide that information, and also any other information you might find useful. So yeah, as I said before, you know, we're a network that links all different community groups that support many different types of people across the area, across the Southampton area, and we all you know, do our bit to support victims of hate crime and other issues as well. So yeah, there's a lot of the work we do around that, you know, those issues. So yeah, if you need any information, want any information on that, then do feel free to get in touch. And we're constantly looking to evolve our network as well. So we have more groups, community groups across the area involved. So if you know any organisations that might find it useful to get involved, and do spread the word about what we do, because yeah, we cover a lot of different groups, but we're yeah, constantly looking to, you know, add greater diversity to what we do. So yeah, there's a bit about that. Then I'll just go on to the next slide. So yeah, it's just a bit about, you probably saw in the chat, I put some links to some of the other sessions that we've got, but these are the next few we've got coming up, and then we're going to look to arrange some more later on in 2022 about other types of hate crime, again led by you know, our network members. So yeah, these ones are all going to be led by our different some of our members, and yeah, all on different types, as you can see, different types of hate crime. And so yeah, in the chat you would have seen there was all the links there. So there'll be the links you can use to access the meetings. Yeah, and for those that are not watching this live, then feel free to use the email address you just saw for the Zoom links, and we'd be happy to provide those. But yeah, that's there's some information for you there, which hopefully is useful. Okay, so yeah, I'll stop the chat there, but so the presentation there. But does anyone have any final questions or comments they'd like to give?
No, thank you very much for that, Sam, for organising that.
No,
Sure,
that's
Thank
fine. As I said before,
Thank you, Abdullah.
yeah, no, thank you, Abdullah, too. I think you've yeah, had it was a really engaging session today. So yeah, that was it was great. Yeah, and yeah, I thank everyone for attending. I'm again sorry that there weren't as many people as would have liked, but yeah.
I just quickly, is this a network or?
Yeah, it's basically a community initiative aimed at kind of supporting victims of hate crime and kind of raising awareness of hate crime. So yeah, there's a lot of they have a lot of kind of information available online, and yeah, I can give you quite more information. So yeah,
is there a forum as well that meets regularly, or
yes, we have quarterly sessions. So we kind of all our members kind of come together and discuss the kind of work that they've been doing in the last few months on, and not just on hate crime, but on other issues as well. And we kind of look at kind of what more we can do as a group to tackle the issue, these issues. So yeah, we have a lot of engagement, which is useful, and everyone can kind of link with each other to find out more information. So yeah,
I think Dennis activity group needs to be part of this conversation. Len can tell you what Dennis activity does. Yeah, I think they probably needs to be part of this group.
Yeah, by all means, Len. Yeah,
I can have that conversation with Len and what's her name, and Len's and our boss.
Yeah, fantastic. No, that would be great. Yeah, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
And
anyway, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, if everyone's yeah, no one's got any more questions, I think we'll leave it. We'll end the session there then. And yeah, I look forward to hopefully seeing some of you more at the other sessions that we've got upcoming as well. If you can, yeah, circulate that information to your kind of contacts, that'd be great as well, to get more people coming to the next few sessions as well. But
can you sorry, in the
yeah.
future, can you please add me to the invite list?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, thanks then, everyone. And take care.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye, no problem. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks.